Any pre-game actions?
No.
Alright, I'll get us started. Draw. I will play Temple of Epiphany, scry 1. Don't want that. Pass turn.
Cool. I will draw. I will play a Sunlit Marsh tapped and pass turn.
I will draw. I'm gonna Jetmir's Garden tap, pass.
Draw. I'll just play an island and I'll pass.
I'll play Command Tower, tap 2, Mind Stone, pass turn.
Cool. I'll untap. I'll keep and draw. I will play a Plains. I will tap it and play a Sigarda's Aid. And I will pass the turn.
Untap, drop. I will Game Trail. Revealing a mountain. I'm gonna tap. And 3 visits. Search for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And while I do that, I pass.
I'll play Sulfur Falls untapped, and I'll just cast a Fire Diamond untapped, and I'll pass.
Play a Mountain, tap 4, and I will cast Osgood.
Cool. On your end step, I will Vampiric Tutor. This on top of my library for the Vampiric Tutor. Let me just shuffle. Then untap. Upkeep, draw. I'll play a Dragon's Call Summit. My land. I'll pay 3 and bring out my commander. And I will pass the turn.
Untap, drop. Play the Afor Revealed Mountain. Tap. Rin and Seri, pass.
Island, I'll cast my commander. Just cast a Lotus Petal. She'll trigger, I'll draw. That'll be my turn.
Play a Mountain, tap 5, play the 12th Doctor, get 2 clues. Pass turn.
Cool. I will untap. Upkeep. Draw. I'll play a Rugged Prairie for my land. Yeah, I'll pay 4. Cast Solomon's Simulacrum. Grab myself a. Any responses?
None.
Cool. I will go and search for a. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I will search for a basic. Where is it? I'm going to go search for a basic Plains. I'll go to combat. I'll swing Alesha at Garrett for 3.
Okay.
Cool. So that's 3 altogether.
Okay.
And 3 commander damage.
Yeah.
And I will pass turn.
Cool. Untap, drop. We are going to play a Command Tower. Tap 2 white and 1. And I'm going to play Brimaz, King of Ereskos. 3/4 Vigilance. When it attacks, I put a 1/1 white cat soldier creature token with Vigilance onto the battlefield attacking, and when he blocks, I get a 1/1 that's also blocking that creature. That triggers Rin and Seri, and I get a dog.
I think I've seen the Phyrexian version of Brimaz.
And I'm going to play Pack Leader. Other dogs I control get +1/+1. When Pack Leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs I control. Rin and Seri triggers, and I get a cat. And pass turn.
I'll draw. I'll cast Ponder. I'll look at the top 3. Go back in the order, or shuffle, and then draw. Play Mountain is land for turn. I'll cast the Pirate Spell Bomb. She'll trigger, I'll draw. I'll cast Assault Monolith. She'll trigger, I'll draw. Tap for 3 colorless. 2 to cast Firewall Stone. She'll trigger, I'll draw. I'll use the 1 floating to cast Voyager Staff. She'll trigger, I'll draw. I'll cast Emery Liquor of the Lock. She'll trigger, I'll draw. ETB, I'll mill the top 4. Land, Gamble, Creature, Theorem Sculptor. 5. I'll just pass.
End of your turn. Tap my Osgood. Second clue. Draw a card. Draw. Play a land for turn. Tap for 5. And we're going to Quantum Misalignment. We're going to target my 12th Doctor. So I'm going to create a copy of it that's non-legendary, and then that will rebound if no action.
Cool. I will untap. Upkeep. Draw. I'll play a swamp. I'll tap for a red and a white, and I will cast Open the Armory. So search my library for aura or equipment. Into my hand and shuffle my library. Any responses?
Nope.
Cool. Thieves' Tools. So when it enters ETBs, I create a treasure, and creature equipped can't be blocked as long as its power is 3 or less. So that will go into my hand. Yep, I'll pay 2 to cast Thieves' Tools, and I will equip that because of Sigarda's Aid onto Alesha, and I'll create a treasure.
I'll respond to the equip trigger.
Yep.
I'll sack Spellbomb. I'll deal 2 damage to your commander.
Well, in response to that, flash out Sword of the Animist and have Sigarda's Aid triggered to equip to Alesha.
That's on cat. Yeah, cast ETB. Cat. Okay.
Yeah. So that will make it a 4/3, so it survives.
Yep.
Combat. I'm going to swing my Solemn at J.
Yeah, I'll block with Rin and Seri. They're 5/5.
Okay. I will sack treasure for 1. I'll flash out a Basilisk collar and have it be equipped to my Solemn.
Yeah, so he has Death Touch, so Rin and Seri would die.
3, and I get to draw a card. And then I will pass the turn.
Tap, drop. Gonna play an Animal Sanctuary. Tap out, bring Rin and Seri back out. And I'm gonna return the favor. I'm gonna send Pack Leader and my dog at you, PapaShaydes.
Okay, and how big are they?
Pack Leader's a 2/2, and dog is a 2/2. Whenever Pack Leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs I control.
I'll block one of them with my Alesha, who's a 4/3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take the 2 from the extra bit.
Cool. And I pass.
The Foundry Inspector. She'll trigger. I'll draw. Yeah, I think I'll pass Walking Ballista for 1. She'll trigger. I'll draw. 1. Okay. 1. I'll cast Thought Vessel. She'll trigger. I'll cast Conjure Toggle. She'll trigger. I'll cast Soul Ring. Trigger. I'll cast Crystal Ball. She'll trigger. I'll use the floating one to tap the ball to strike 2. I'll play a Stormcore of Coast as land for turn. It'll come out untapped. I'll tap Emery. I'll target the Lotus Petal in my grave. Actually, I'll target the Pirate Spellbomb in my grave to recast. So I'll cast that. She'll trigger. I'll draw. I'll cast the Mana Crypt. She'll trigger. I'll draw. I'll cast Reshape. I'll sack my Mana Crypt. I'll go get an artifact that's a 3 or less and put it on the battlefield. I'll just put Cloud Key. ETB. I'll just use artifacts. I'll cast Alchemist Vial. She'll trigger. I'll draw. When this enters, I'll draw. I'll cast the Spellbook. She'll trigger. I'll draw. I'll cast an Elsewhere Flask. She'll trigger. I'll draw. ETB. I'll draw. Cast either Spellbomb. She'll trigger. I'll draw. I'll sack the Bauble. I could put a card from my grave on the bottom of my library and draw a card. I'll just put back Reshape on the bottom of my library. And I'll draw it. I'll pass.
End of your turn, tap the Osgoods. Draw a card. Upkeep happens. And Quantum Misalignment will be cast. On cast, it'll I have the ability to demonstrate twice. So, Jay.
Yo.
Would you like some? Would you like 2 copies of your 2 copies of which you can copy anything to include legendaries?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I'll get 3 additional copies, which will bring me to 4 copies. And you will get 2 copies of which you can do.
Do I choose what I want to copy?
Yes, the way it reads, it says create a so you get a copy of the spell. So it'll be create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it isn't legendary.
Gotcha. I'm gonna create a copy of Rin and Seri.
And then Rin and Seri.
Yeah, let's just do that times 2. Actually, I was gonna do thinking Brimaz, but no, let's just do it twice.
That's cast. I will draw my card for turn. All right, I'll play a Terramorphic Expanse, and then I will tap 5, and I'm going to cast Into the Time Vault or Into the Time Vortex. So basically, I cascade, and then it has rebound as well.
Yeah, offer you can't refuse.
Okay, so I get 2 treasures. Yes.
Yep.
Tap 1 and suspend this with 4 counters. And I will pass turn.
Cool. I'll untap. Draw. How big are your creatures, Garrett?
1/1, 3/2, 3/3.
Cool. I'm going to combat. I'll swing Alesha at you. I will use its trigger. I'll pay 2. I'll bring out Solemn again, which allows me to go and search for a basic land, and so does Sword of the Animus. So I'll go grab 2 lands out, tapped. I will search for a mountain and a swamp, and put them on the battlefield tapped, thanks to Solomon Alesha's Animist. And Solemn will be also going at you, Garrett.
Okay, so how much total?
So 4/3 first strike and a 2/2.
Okay, I'll take 6.
And I cannot do anything else, so I will pass the turn.
Untap. Now I'll draw for turn. And I'm going to play Ocelot Pride. First strike lifelink, it's a 1/1. At the beginning of my end step, if I gained life this turn, create a 1/1 cat creature token. Then, if I have the city's blessing, which I do, for each token I control that entered the battlefield this turn, I create a token that's a copy of it. So, I cast a cat, I make a dog, but I make 3 dogs total, so I have 4. I'm going to tap 3. And I'm going to tap Rin and Seri. And I'm going to deal 1, 5, 6 damage to... It is 8 total damage. I'm going to do 8 damage to... I'm going to do 8 damage to one of your 12th Doctor copies turbo.
The one with 2 with the counters, or the ones without it?
Yeah, the copy that has it. Whatever the copy is. And then you have 4 more copies. Okay.
3 more.
Or 3 more copies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I gain life. I gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 life for each cat that I have. I'm going to move to combat.
And in response to you going to combat, I'm going to cast a Master Warcraft. So I cast it before attackers are declared. I choose which creatures attack this turn, and I also choose which creatures block this turn and how those creatures block.
Okay.
I'm going to have Garrett blocking at least 1 token each with all his creatures.
Yeah,
and I'm going to have, let's see, how many creatures going after Turbo right now? About 4?
You have 5 creatures going at turbo.
I will have GASSY block it with his 3 copies and his 12th Doctor and one of the Osgoods.
So how
So
is
How
each
is
one's
this gonna
going to be
matter? Hold on a
blocking
sec. This is gonna matter. Which Osgood, the commander or the token copy?
the commander version.
Okay, so that will go, and then my 12th Doctor original will not die because it has 2+1/+1 counters, making it a 6/6.
Okay, but how about the copies?
Those are all 4/4s right now.
Okay, so 2 copies are going to be blocking both of Jay's Rin and Seri copies. And
Oh, okay.
then how big is Brimaz?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Sorry, how big is Brimaz?
3/4.
3/4. Okay, and the one that's preventing all damage to your dogs?
It's a 2/2.
2. Okay, well, that 2/2 is going to attack, and it's going to be blocked by the original Osgood. What's left will be blocked by the what's left, the 2/2. That can attack and be blocked by the other Osgood.
So the cat's being blocked by the other Osgood. The cat dies.
Yeah.
Brimaz is
And
being
I
blocked by.
suppose Brimaz can go and block the original Doctor.
Okay, so Brimaz dies.
How
Both
big
Rin and
is-
Seris stay because they're dogs
How
and
big
they're
is
technically
Brimaz?
pack leader. 3/4.
Oh, 3/4. How much toughness does the 12th Doctor have on him?
For the original or the
Yeah,
The-
the original.
that has a
He's up-
2+1/+1 counters on it.
So that's 3,
So I think it's a 6/6.
6. Yeah, I'll just block and I'll just remove a counter off Alesha and I'll just deal 1 damage to the 12th Doctor as well.
So it'd be taking 4 damage instead of 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
then-
the original 12th Doctor will be gone, I'm guessing.
How
No,
would
it's
you-
it has
One.
it
You
has
have
2
to do
+1/+1
one more
counters on it,
damage
so
to
it's
it.
still alive with 2.
Okay. Yeah, now we can wrap up Garrett's area. What's happening with your bit then? Because I've asked pretty much.
Block the 1/1, block the 1/1. You said these 2 were blocking each token 1/1s. Block. I blocked 1 with Ballista, took the counter off Ballista to deal 1 damage to something, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Was
The dogs are all 2/2s, but if you're blocking the cat soldier, then yeah.
Before
What did
But
you have?
he just sent all the previous tokens to me, so yeah.
So the rest are going through then, basically, because I've asked. I want each token attacking and each of Garrett's creatures blocking, but he's probably got something to prevent that damage, I assume.
Well, you only said the tokens at me, and that was you just wanted me to block each token, and that was it. So I assume I'm taking the 1 with the cat entering, since it ETB
Well,
is attacking.
because they're all the tokens are 2/2s and they're attacking.
So
I'm
I
gonna
blocked
get
3.
one-
So yeah, I blocked 3. They're dog or cats?
They're dogs, so they're
Okay,
2/2s
so it
and they're
doesn't matter,
they
yeah.
don't take combat damage.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, block 1, block 2, block 3, and I'll have to take 2, 3 total damage.
How big is the Foundry Inspector? It's a 1/2, right?
3,
It's a 3/2, sorry.
2. Yeah, you die.
And your Jhoira is a
3/3.
3/3.
Yep.
Okay, so that survives.
And that's it. I'll take the rest.
Yeah. And that's literally everything else done from the combat thing.
So it's my second main now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was your combat phase. Yeah.
So sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what? You know what? I'm just gonna make it easy. I'm just gonna pass the turn.
Like, I only just put that card in this deck. Like,
That's land for
hey,
turn.
I didn't realize it would be that annoying.
Tap memory. I'll target Ethereum, Sculptor, and Grave. A blue to cast him. That'll trigger my commander. I'll draw. I will pay 1, cast Inspiring Statuary. She'll trigger, I'll draw. I'll cast Welding Jar. She'll trigger, I'll draw.
Do you have a way of turning your artifacts into creatures to attack in that deck?
Probably.
The Cyber Drive Awakener.
1. I'll cast Shimmer Mirror. 1. Yeah, it's 1. She'll trigger, I'll draw. Cast Enthusiastic Mechanist. She'll trigger, I'll draw. I'll float 1. I'll tap the Crystal Ball to scry 2. These both will go to the bottom. I use the floating one and sack Pirate Spell Bomb to draw a card. Yeah, 1, 2, blue. 1, 2 in the blue. I'll cast Forensic Gadget here. When I cast an artifact, I investigate. Activated abilities on my artifacts cost 1 less. I'll sack the Spell Bomb to draw a card. I'll pass.
Untap, upkeep. It goes down to 3. Alright, we're going to tap for 7. We're going to Volcanic Visions, targeting the Quantum Misalignment. So it says, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. This deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost. To each creature your opponents control, exile this.
I'll respond to that. I'll cast Redirect. I'll target the Volcanic Visions and I'll change it to a new target. The new target will be my Mana Crypt in my grave.
It can't be it has to be an instant or sorcery in
okay.
my graveyard.
Gotcha.
So the only other one would be Into the Time Vortex, which is still a 5.
Target, new target, target grave. Yeah, we'll just target it. Yeah, we'll target it. Yeah, the time thingy.
Any other responses?
No.
Alright.
So everything with what? Takes how much?
5 damage. Everything but my commander.
Yep.
And then that goes to
Board
exile.
wipe.
And that will go to my hands.
I'll put Alesha in the graveyard instead of exile, and I'll draw a card to Solemn's effect.
I'll use my 2 treasures and I'll play a Thought Vessel. And that will end my turn.
Untap, play Myriad Landscape. I'll tap 2 for an Arcane Signet, and then I'll pay 6 for a Sun Titan. Bring Alesha back out as my permanent.
Being dealt damage counts as being destroyed, right?
Sorry?
Enough damage, then it becomes destroyed, yes.
Okay. I'll sack my Welding Jar and regenerate one of my artifacts. I'll just regenerate Sculptor.
Pass the turn.
Alright. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm gonna tap a white and 2. I'm gonna play King of the Pride. Other cats I control get +2/+1. Then I'm gonna tap 3. And I'm gonna play Koma Inu Battle Armor. And I pass.
Upkeep. I'll draw 2, blue, red, 10. I'll use one of the floating. It's a crystal ball. I'll tap and discard 2. Put that to the bottom. I'll put that to the top. With the rest, I'll recast my commander. 1. I'll cast Retrace. I'll return all artifacts I control to my hand. I'll float 1, 2, 3, 4 colorless. 5, because he's an artifact as well. I'll float 5 colorless. I'll use, first I'll cast Spellbook, she'll trigger, I'll draw, I'll play a blue, and use 1 colorless. I'll cast Riddlesmith, cast Everflowing Chalice, trigger, so I'll draw, then I can discard a card. I'll discard this, Soul Ring, trigger, I'll draw, then I have to discard. We'll discard this, 1, I'll cast the Sculptor, so I'll go floating, she'll trigger, he'll trigger, I'll draw, then I'll draw and discard this, I'll cast this trigger. I'll draw. Discard an island. 1, 2. I'll cast Cloud Key. Trigger. I'll draw. Discard an island. I'll choose artifacts for turn. Frostboil, Snarl, Arvilla Island. Cast this, trigger. I'll draw the discard. Cast Pithing Needle. I'll just choose Rin and Seri Inseperable as the name. Trigger. I'll draw and discard. Discard this. I'll cast this, trigger. Draw. Then I have to discard. This ETB I get to draw. Well, cast Inspiring Sanctuary, trigger, draw. I'll discard an island. Then when the ATBs, I already drew. I'll cast that. I'll cast Chromatic Sphere, trigger, draw. I'll discard.
Why do I think it's actually Triskaideka?
Cast Mistress Bauble, trigger, discard. I'll discard Trinket Mage. Cast Chromatic Star, trigger. I'll sack Bauble to look at the top of my library. First, I'll keep that. Actually, I'll put that to the bottom.
Mr. Baubles doesn't allow you to move it, does it? It just says look at it.
Oh, true. Look at it, I can draw it. So I'll draw, then discard. We'll discard.
Well, the draw off of the Mistress Bauble doesn't happen until the beginning of the next turn.
I'm drawing off these two.
Why would you draw off the activated ability, though? Of you sacrificing the Mistress Bauble? I don't understand.
I'm stacking it to look, drawing off the Jhoira, drawing off the Riddlesmith, and discarding.
Oh,
I drew 2.
Response to?
If that was the case, I would have drawn 3, but yeah.
All right, I understand now. Sorry.
Discard this, the familiar. Felor, trigger. Draw, discard this. I'll tap this for a red. I'll use 1 floating. Cast Reckless Fireweaver. Cast Alchemist Vial, trigger. Draw.
And we
I'll
all take
discard.
damage.
Yep. ETB, which lose 1. Cast Guild Globe, trigger. Draw. Discard. ETB, you each lose 1. ETB, I'll draw a card. Cast Thought Vessel, trigger. This will ETB, you each lose 1. Cast Renegade Map, trigger. You'll enter taps. Cast Sky Diamond, trigger. ETB, I'll discard. I'll cast a Semblance Anvil, trigger. Draw. I'll discard Island. ETB, trigger, you each lose 1. Trigger Anvil, I'll exile a card from hand. I'll just exile. Rebuild, so my instant spells cost 2 less. I'll sack Chromatic Star to float a blue. And when it hits the grave, I'll draw a card. Cast Elixir of Immortality, trigger. I'll draw, discard.
I don't think Shades is hearing the lose life triggers.
No, I have 7 damage so far.
Trigger. Yeah.
What's the damage so far?
I'll have to count it after I
7
finish
7
involving
total so
everything.
far.
Yeah. I'll cast Tormod's Crypt. Trigger. I'll draw. I'll discard this. ETB, you each lose a life. I'll pay the blue into the Chromatic Sphere to sack it. I'll float a blue. When it hits the grave, I'll draw a card. I'll cast Ichor Wellspring, trigger. ETB, I could draw a card, so I'll draw. I'll choose not to draw off the the dude. I'll just draw 2. And you'll each lose 1. Arcane Signet, I'll just trigger Jhoira to draw. That'll enter, you choose a life. I'll cast Manifold Key, I'll trigger Jhoira, I'll draw. Let's go to 5. Okay, so I'll pay 2, and I'll use the floating blue. I'll cast Mirrodin Besiege. I'll choose Phyrexian, and so I'll go to 6. Cast color, so I'll do that for blue. 1, 2. I'll cast Mirroring Spy. That'll go to 7.
How many artifacts do you have in your graveyard right now?
More than 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18. Tap this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just go. You only have 2 creatures. Alright. So I'm done with all that. ETBs will be the number of casts. So from the Fireweaver, after he came out, that was 5 casts short. So 5. So this will be 1 instead.
It should be 11 total, because I was at 40 and I've been keeping track.
10, 11. Yeah, 11 after he came out. So 11. You each will take 11 total.
Yep.
From the artifacts ETB.
Yeah, I think we were all subtracting it as we went.
And I will cast a Grape Shot, storming it 28 times. Well, 27 times. And I'll have all 27 damage go at you, Papa.
Yeah.
And I don't have any more color mana. So I'll move the start instep. I'll draw, and I'll target you, Gassy, to lose the game with Mirrodin Besiege.
I'm done.
And it'll be on you, Mango.
Untap. Draw.
Great, mana.
I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to crib swap your Reckless Fireweaver.
It just exiles it and what does
Exiles it, and you get a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token.
Yeah.
I will pass turn.
Alright, your instep, I'll just Tormod's Crypt, exiling your graveyard.
Actually, I have a response to that.
Okay.
I'm going to tap red and 2, and I'm going to Deflecting Swat.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you exile your graveyard.
Well, you already passed turn, so not already true for turn. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, then never mind. Then.
And it is in game, so we took back quite a bit. And I'll just end it here. During my draw step, untap, upkeep, then draw. Untap, upkeep. During my upkeep step, I'll tap my Soul Ring for 2. I'll crack Elixir of Immortality. I'll gain 5 life, and I'll shuffle my grave into my library. So I guess it didn't matter. I did have free counter spell in hand.
I'm just going to scoop.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. I just bounce all your permanents back to your hand, just bounce my artifacts and keep casting them for free, pretty much.
Good game.